It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Miriam. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. I was so excited. I received an email from one of the NGOs that we worked with, and they sent us messages to say thank you for your book donations. It's gone a long way to impact the children in that community. It made my heart sink. I'm making tangible, difference. So I'm humbled, really, honestly. But, I'm grateful that I'm able to do something that makes a difference.
Fantastic. Well done.
Thank you. Yes, I would like to do more of that.
Absolutely. Well done. Well done. The kids get, sometimes like the kids' first exposure to information about nature,
in fact,
life,
that's what the letter says. It says first exposure to this sort of content and information they wouldn't have gotten if,
absolutely.
I didn't do that.
You hadn't written that book. Fantastic. Well done. Hello. Dr. Obiajilu Ugbo, this is your news as you're speaking.
Stunning.
Where are we going to?
Where are you going to?
Pure water. I'm not going anywhere. I have a lot of work on my table. New positions. God is just remembering me, and I'm really excited about everything that's happening in my life. But it comes with a lot of work. So when you do something well, and your reward for that is getting more things given to you. So I'm expanding my capacity. And I'm excited that it's not just me that's seeing it. People are seeing it and appreciating it. And they're humbling me with positions of work. And of course, goodness will come when you work. Now, there will definitely be rewards. And I'm so grateful to God.
Well done. Well done. It's good to see you busy and happy. I don't know how you guys are adjusting to this fuel pricing. 500 Naira. My husband bought filled the tank for grandma's car, 27,000, because she's supposed to be traveling soon. 27,000 to fill up the tank. This morning, usually, he goes to the gym, and the kids go to school, and therefore he starts his day. All of us in that car together.
Yeah.
I will drop in the gym.
Yes.
I'll walk home. The kids, because now we have to remanage how we're, because I mean, my tank is already empty, and it's at the gas station. He says he's looking like I'm going to have to send.
I don't know how to come to work next week. I've been saying it now.
There's fuel. It's just that it's expensive.
Yeah.
Where's the money now? So where's the money to buy the fuel?
Well, you have to, I don't know.
Any go-karder can carry me inside the box and bring me to work.
We need to start selling some of our Brazilian hair to buy
fuel.
You. Some of us have to
we
start.
need to just walk more. It's good for our health.
How do I walk from Lekki?
No, you walk halfway. You jump into
It's not funny.
Jump into a bus and
finish.
What will you do? A bus? Yes, you get on a bus.
It's quite expensive. I'm waiting for my
bus. Well, not to even say the bus fares have also gone up.
Yes.
So we have to say that.
That's so true.
Done that bus thing.
I mean, salaries we have to make when salaries never increase. So then the kids are having to.
Anyway, anybody that has go-karder can put me in that box and bring me to work next week, because Morayo, you may not see me.
We'll get our cake. We'll just buy cake.
All right, let's go on the break. It's Thursday. We like to gist and talk about family, religion, life. The whole works. But first, we'll look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, we're going to start with the nation. NNPCL fixes 488 Naira to 557 Naira per litre petrol price template. 200 reps backing me, says Abbas. Hearing in LP OB petition stalled. National honors awardees to wait. PDP senators Rogadi, Akinyelure dump party. And Senate NPAN paid tributes to media magnate Dokbesi. Okay, which story are we starting with in the nation?
You can start with the major headline.
Please.
So there's been talks between the federal government and organized labor over the removal of fuel subsidy, and that ended in a deadlock yesterday. They failed to reach a consensus following the hike in the petrol pump price to over 700 Naira from 195 per litre by oil marketers. Now, the meeting was held at the presidential villa to prevent a labor crisis following the recent petrol pump price occasioned by the discontinuance of the petroleum subsidy. And, at the meeting, they said the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation said they had adjusted the pump price of premium motor spirits to reflect market realities. And they stated, I think about this morning, they stated from 488 Naira to 557 Naira per litre. Why am I calling thousands? So, but they said different outlets are selling between 600 to 800 in Lagos, Abuja, Ogun, and some other states. Now, the National Public Relations Officer, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chief Chinedu Kadike, pointed out that the hike of the PMS would trigger galloping inflation in the country. Some outlets in states like the Southeast were even selling as high as 1,200. And it says once NMPC adjusts their prices, there's nothing that can be done about it. But they said they thought that the president will remove the subsidies through a seamless means so that this harsh reality is not facing us. However, they didn't break down how seamless that means would work. But they are worrying that NMPCL is the sole importer of fuel. They need to open up the doors to allow a lot of other marketers to get in. They also need to make it easy for them to get access to Forex, because if they go to the black market to get Forex, it will still impact on the price. These are some of the things that they need to look into, but the queues are still out there. People are still struggling to get fuel. It's still very expensive. Not everybody can afford it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to take the story of the Labour Party. So everybody was looking forward to yesterday for the petitioners for the Labour Party and the presidential candidates of the LP, Peter Obi, to present their witnesses and their case. Unfortunately, the lawyer representing Peter Obi, Professor Awakalu, was saying that they had planned to start tendering the documents yesterday, but sadly, two key witnesses from the secretariat staff took ill, and they couldn't they couldn't present them. So they then requested for the case to be adjourned to today. Lawyers for INEC and the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, actually accepted the request, however, requested that the day be deducted from the total day that is required for the petition to be carried out. Okay.
And I have story politics again. So it's saying here it's two senators. They say two PDP senators, Senators Urohide and Akiyelure, have resigned from the PDP, but they did not mention what party that they were going to. This was announced. The notices of resignations were contained in separate letters that was read out by the Deputy Senate President Ovie Omoagege, who also, advised them that they should, move to the APC. The letters, mostly was saying that I'm letting the House know and the whole of federal government, the whole of Nigeria know that we're leaving PDP, and for so and so reason. Some said because of the differences at the national level and the state levels, the squabbles, and so that they're leaving. It will not help them do their best as leaders. And it just felt like a divorce. I felt so bad. I'm like, is it right to just divorce, especially when you're down? Is this the right time to be divorcing yourself from a party? But and then I also wonder how that affects them at their constituency.
Exactly, you can't just be changing. That's why parties are supposed to be ideological.
Yes.
Stick to an idea, no matter how. You're down, you stay down with them, and you guys rise again together. The Punch. Federal government Labour meeting deadlocked as fuel price hits over 700 naira to the litre. CBN multiple exchange rates may increase debt burden, says World Bank. With other human interest stories in the Punch.
Inside, yeah.
Kidnappers kill 2, abduct others in Ogun farm raid. Lagos police dismiss sergeants for extorting 98,000 naira from man. And NAPTIP sacks 5 for corruption and leaking information.
Okay, I'll read CBN, that's right on the front page. The president of World Bank, Mr. David Malpass, has warned that the Nigeria's parallel exchange rate is harmful as it worsens future debt service payments and increases the risk of debt. So this was all in the blog post. It's quite exhaustive. I feel that a lot of people should read it. He just explains that the way the parallel market works, he says it benefits those that it benefits. So first, it says the economics on parallel exchange rates is clear. They are expensive, highly distortionary for all market participants, associated with higher inflation, impede private sector development and foreign investment, and lead to lower growth. So there's no benefits. The only group of people that benefit are those that have access to foreign exchange at a subsidized rate, paid for by everyone else, and then, and he says there's a strong correlation between parallel rates and corruption. The only way we continue to have parallel rates is because it is it's a corrupt, environment. That's the only way it breeds. And it says it's a huge problem, especially for us also with the loans that we're getting, servicing our loans. So this is an issue that they're trying to, solve. They say that about 24 countries have this parallel exchange issue. Nigeria is one of them, and they said that even though years and years of trying to work it out, it seems that nothing
I know
is
the
happening.
president's speech was saying that
in the president's speech, he says that one of the things, the monetary policy, is that we need to find a way to unify that.
Okay, let me take NAPTIP. So NAPTIP is a national agency for the prohibition of persons trafficking on persons, dismissed a deputy director and 4 others for corruption. According to them, the offenses range from corruption to demanding and receiving bribes from suspects and relatives. According to them, according to the spokesperson, I think Mr. Vincent Adekoye, he said that the officers were leaking confidential information to suspects, endangering the lives of their colleagues, violation of the oath of secrecy, stealing, and giving out official records to these culprits. The offenses were all contrary to provisions of the public service rules and therefore were dismissed. And some were actually demoted, and this was according to the governing board agency meeting that held on May 25th. I mean, this is really, trafficking is one crime that has really prevailed for a while, and I'm happy that the agency is taking, ensuring that those who are the corrupt ones amongst them are being pointed out and dismissed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Lagos State Police Command yesterday announced the dismissal of Sergeant Epo Shimuyere, who was attached to the Shogunle Division for extorting a young man of 98,000 naira. They said that according to the State Police Public Relations Officer, Benjamin Hundeyin, he said that the Provost Department had already disrobed and dismissed the sergeant. According to him, the dismissed sergeant collected the phone of the victim and used the POS to transfer 98,000 naira out of the 100,000 naira the guy had in his account. So, and the police action was contrary to the ethics of the profession. So he said they got the complaint from the victim. The officer denied the crime, and when he was contacted, so they had to place him under detention so that he doesn't tamper with evidence. They wrote to the bank, obtained the statement of the account, and they were able to trace where the money went to, from the POS to the owner of the POS, and from the owner of the POS to the police officer's account. So they found it, they said they followed due process, they've gotten it, and he has been dismissed. So I think the police is very deliberate about fishing out those bad eggs and dealing with them.
And we need to also make this public often, talk about it, because it hardly goes viral. Stuff like this hardly goes viral. It's when they do something bad. Hey, the police have come again. No? Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, moving on now to Daily Sun. NNPCL unveils new fuel price regime. PDP has right to suspend, expel you, court tells Wike. ASU fights back, drags government to court over discriminatory payment of salaries. Subsidy, FG organizes labor meeting deadlock. APC elects Uzodinma chair, Progressives Governors Forum. Senate leadership, Igbo youth plan 2 million man march for Kalu. And presidential polls, INEC rejects own documents and article PDP petition against Tinubu. All right, so the Igbo Youth Group, under the aegis of Coalition of Southeast Youth Leaders, are organizing June 5th for their million-man march, and they have about 2 or 3 demands. They're asking that the Senate presidency be zoned to the Southeast to support Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu, because according to them, in the interest of fairness, equity, and justice, he should be made the Senate president. Also, they are also marching for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB. According to them, he's really sick. He needs to be treated by his medical doctors who are aware of his own medical history, and he should be treated. And finally, they're saying that the federal government should declare a state of emergency on insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, banditry across the nation. So they have said June 5th they're going to get 1 million man march. Okay.
So human rights lawyer Femi Falana has sued the federal government over alleged discriminatory, unfair, and illegal treatment of members of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. Joined in the suit as defendants are Minister of Labor and Employment, Attorney General of the Federation, and the Accountant General of the Federation. A statement from the chamber on Wednesday also disclosed. And he was asking, that's Falana, asking the court to determine whether having paid the salaries of members of the Joint Staff Union, National Association of Resident Doctors and Lecturers in the Medical Facilities, Medical and Dental Academic of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Nnewi Campus, Anambra State, during the period of industrial action, the decision of the defendants to withhold the salaries of the members of the claimant from February to October 2022 is not discriminatory and illegal. It was also asking the court to determine whether the members of ASU are not entitled to payment of their salaries for the months of February to October 2022 forthwith. So I think one of the reasons they started doing this was other people had, other organizations like the Health Staff Union had done strike from March to May 2018, but their salaries were paid for that duration of the strike. They said also the members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors were also on strike between September and October 2021, but they were also paid for the duration of the strike. So why is it that ASU has not been paid for the duration of their own strike? And that's why they are going to court, but they have not picked a date for the hearing.
Are they appealing? Because I read yesterday, and it was, the law says that no work, no pay.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is an update. Are they appealing that? Anyway.
No work, no pay. Or maybe the no work, no pay came after they had done their strike. So we mentioned 2018. And
No. I mean, they're in court. Of course, they were in court. And as of yesterday, we took the story where the court said that it is actually legally that when you do not, if you don't work, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if this is an update, like an appeal on yesterday's. But I have the governors of APC at their meeting at the NWC. That's the National Working Committee meeting in Abuja, where they have now the governor of Imo State emerged as the chairman of the PGF, which is the Progressive Governors Forum. And, they just announced that. And the governor of Imo State says he's delighted to be with them at the meeting after their last electoral victory of their great party. He was congratulating everyone, and that there's no doubt that the PGF has been in place before this time, and there's no doubt that we are loyal members of our great party. Assured the APC governors understand very clearly that the government, each and every one of us presiding over, belongs to the party, and we both know at the federal and subnational level that the government belongs to APC, so it's an APC-led government. So of course, there will be lots of these changes that we've seen, and constant congratulating of themselves as the APC.
Okay, Vanguard. We talked about petrol above 500 naira to the liter as subsidy removal takes effect. Bandits kill vigilante leader, 17 others in Zamfara. 10th National Assembly leadership, APC Tinubu allegedly back out of Akpabio's endorsement. Meet Southern Middle Belt leaders to weave Nigeria together. Again, Akpabio tells Tinubu. Presidential Tribunal, Tinubu, APC opposed tendering of evidence from Beavers. 10th National Assembly leadership, Omishori G6 meeting ends in deadlock. Okay, let me take the Olisa Agbakuba's SAN's advice to the president concerning weaving back Nigeria together. According to him, he was speaking at a TV station yesterday where he said that Nigeria has been so divided, it's never been this divided in a very long while. And it's important for him to initiate a meeting of the various strongholds across the country. The Pan-Yoruba social political group, that's the Afenifere, the counterparts in the southeast, South-South, Ohanes, Indigbo, Pandef, the Middle Belt, all the various groups across the country. He needs to invite them for a meeting where they hear from him directly, and where he's trying to see how they can bring back the nation together as a whole. That this is really, really important at this time. And he also advised for the dismissal of the EFCC chair, saying that he has his own reservations on the constitutionality of the EFCC in the first place.
Yes, sad story yet again in Gusau in Zamfara. They said, no, fewer than 18 persons, including a vigilante leader, have been killed. This happened in communities under the Ruwando ward of Morayo local government area in Zamfara. So the story is that usually vigilante would stay in the bush and hide out there. And the bandits are aware of that, you know. But these bandits tracked down specifically this vigilante leader, and he was killed. And then when the people in the community heard about it, they rushed, you know, to the bush to try and, you know, maybe fight. But then they met with the bandits and they were caught up in a gun battle. They said 11 of their members were killed, but they also killed about 10 of the bandits. This is just a sad story yet again. I know they have a new governor, and this is one of the things that he'll have to be working hard at, you know, to bring back some form, working with the federal government to bring back security in that area.
Did you take the baby factory in Port Harcourt?
No.
Okay, so operatives of the Nigerian police in Rivers State said they busted a suspected baby-making factory and rescued 6 pregnant girls. The police said the arrest was made around Choba community in Obio, Akpo local government area of the state. The new state commissioner of police, Polycarp Emeka, also made the disclosure during the maiden media briefing in Port Harcourt yesterday and said successes were recorded through credible information by good Nigerians. And so they're asking more Nigerians, when you see and hear things like this, you let them know. He said police arrested the prime suspect identified as Akudo Ozoro during the raid on the alleged child trafficking home. And during interrogation, he confessed to the crime, saying that they had trafficked many children from illegal homes. And so I think about 6 pregnant girls were rescued at the end of the day, and they said they had succeeded in selling many children. They couldn't even give a vivid account of all the children that they had sold before. So once you are around and you're suspecting such activities, you must report to the police.
Nigerian Tribune, quickly, let's find a story we've not taken. Naira exchanges for 746 Naira to the dollar in black market. Tinubu meets EFCC boss, NNPC GMD. 2 PDP senators resign from party. Timothy Adegboke's murder, court jails receptionist 2 years. ASU sues FG over discriminatory treatment of members. Presidential election court admits article PDP's documents against Tinubu's victory. Okay, you know, I took the story concerning the the owner of Oduduwa University and 4 others who were sentenced to death by hanging. But they were waiting for the receptionist, who was also culpable. So the receptionist's name is Adedeji Adeshola. So his sentence was carried out yesterday, and the judge had sentenced him to 2 years in prison because the reason he was found guilty for doctoring the hotel's receipt that was issued to the deceased, fabricating another and concealing evidence. So that was why he was found guilty of, but he got 2 years. So he was lucky he wasn't part of those that were sentenced to death, because he was not involved in the actual murder. He doctored the receipts to fabricate, and another person concealing evidence, and that was why he was
aiding and abetting.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's all we can take. Is there a story you want to take? Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review today. When we come back, it's Thursday. Gistin Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So as I said, usually on Thursdays, we like to discuss family matters, matters that touches the heart. And recently there was a conversation that somebody in his, I think it was 50s or 60s, he was talking about the fact that what is the morality in a woman leaving a cheating spouse? And he argued that, Morayo, there's nothing decent for a woman to leave a marriage simply because her husband is cheating. Because according to him, he feels that even though she leaves, at some point, yes, at that moment, there's a need to feel liberated and, to leave that place, that the betrayal of a spouse. Once you now finally be by yourself and you're now faced with raising 2 or 3 kids, paying school fees, doing all that all on your own because you're left in anger, sometimes the man just moves on. That's when a lot of people then realize that they need help. And sometimes they actually result into dating another married man or finding a way to go back to the ex who may have finally moved on. So he was advising that it is morally wrong for a woman to intentionally leave a marriage simply because a man is cheating. For domestic violence, fine, any other, but because of cheating, it's too small an issue. So it got us talking. Where do we draw the line? Because some will say, recently YK had an interview with Chude, where she said she's not going to leave her man because he's cheating. And the reason why she was saying that was because her father married 27 wives. So for her, she feels it's not a big deal. Like, yes, as long as other factors are not there. And that was her view. And many people came after her that, oh, YK, that's you. They can never take that from any person. But let us talk about it in the African context of it takes a community to raise a child. The fact that you always need somebody, you can't just be by yourself doing it all. Somehow in Africa we feel that one person can't just raise children. What are your thoughts on this? Is this 60-plus-year-old man right for what he was advising? Or do you think we need to rethink how family structures should look like, especially in the new this new age that we are in? How do we redefine family structures? That's our conversation today. Should we be stuck in our old ways, or should we begin to accept new ways of raising children? You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweets. I would really like to hear from single fathers and single mothers who have actually left and been successful in raising their children. Maybe others too who may still feel that they need some kind of companion, because it's good for us to see and hear from different perspectives so people can make better, more informed choices in future. So those are the various kind of people we'd like to hear this morning. Let me come to you, Mariam. Your thoughts on this scenario. I mean, nobody likes to be cheated on, but somebody's saying if you look at it in the long term, it's not always a good decision to leave. Others say, hey, leave. You must be happy. It's good to raise a child somewhere where there's no strain. What are your thoughts?
So my own will be to the morality issue where you said, so you've left a cheating husband, you're now on your own, and you find yourself now in a relationship with another married man, and now you're the side chick. And, so why did you leave the marriage in the first place? If cheating was such a deal breaker for you, how come you're cheating, cheating with someone else? That's someone's marriage. And for me, it's easier or it's more enjoyable to reap where you did not sow than for someone to reap where they did not sow. So I'm the one I've worked at, so that's this marriage. And then someone comes and is chopping out of it. It's harder for me to accept that. But it's much easier for me to be chopping where I did not work hard for. So that is how, people can look at it sometimes. Like, yes, it was cheating. I didn't like that my husband was cheating. But now, I'm getting to... In cheating, they only see the benefits for the person who their husbands are cheating with. So when they're cheating in another relationship now, they are also just seeing just the benefits of being in that relationship. But really, I mean, when you look at it, I think it's an important question to ask. Is cheating really the reason why women are leaving marriages? Is it just because it's just the cheating? Or is the cheating... does the cheating open up other issues? Does the cheating, or is the cheating like the very last straw of all the things that have been going wrong in the relationship? Or the cheating really is just the cheating? Yeah. So I have this marriage. As far as I'm concerned, I'm bringing my own side of it. I'm loyal. I'm faithful. I'm hardworking. I'm also financially there. So why am I not enough for my husband? And some people would leave, but the question for me will be, when you leave, it's not necessarily about, okay, so what I'm trying to say is that most people, when they leave, the stories I've heard, it's not that it's one cheating is what caused it. It's just so many other things that go with it. So it's easier to now find yourself in another relationship where you are cheating and you now try to rationalize it.
Right. Where the 60-year-old man was coming from was the fact that, so when you finally leave,
However you
leave, stay, and be by yourself.
Yeah, so that's where I'm getting to. So here we are now. I still need companionship. I be by myself or be with someone who is not married, right? Yeah. So I can seek for companionship, but with someone who is not married, someone who is divorced, widowed, or something. But usually it may not even happen that way, especially if you give our own society, most men, by the time you are a certain age, the men that are eligible to you are usually older and already married. If you find yourself in that sort of situation, people would find an excuse to be the side chick. People always find the excuse. So what will happen? What I'm just trying to say is that by the time you're on the other side being the side chick, you will find the excuses, you find the rationalization to justify where you are.
You see?
I think this just exposes our hypocritical nature. We are very good at quickly jumping into conclusions and condemning other people, but when we are faced with the same exact situation, we end up doing almost the same things, or even worse. I've had this situation play out around me, and this woman was complaining, the husband was cheating, and then she got tired and filed for divorce and left, only for me to open my eyes. Auntie was already doing somebody that was married. And we're asking the question, please, at what point did you now move from this very strong, moral human being to somebody who doesn't care anymore? And her response was, I have to survive. And people now started asking, so why didn't you, since you now understand why most people do what they do, so you now know you have to survive. The person who was doing it to your husband before also had to survive. Now, why did you leave this relationship? So I personally also think that it's not just about cheating, that people don't just separate from relationships, especially in Africa here, just because the man cheated. There are other things, like Miriam said, that will be exposed at the same time the cheating is going on. So I've seen women who their husbands have cheated on them. They are still in the relationship. They have not left. They are not planning to. They just find a way to, turn their eyes away. I've seen even men whose wives have cheated on, and they are still, in the relationship trying to make it work. So I don't think the idea or the only reason why women leave is, because of cheating. That's aside. But we don't always like to be done to what we have done to others. Right. If you, as a young person, somewhere along the line dated a married man, what were you expecting? Now you marry and somebody is dating yours and you're crying foul. It always has a way of coming back. But this is something that in this part of the world is something like that we have embraced. So you hear young people saying, I don't want to date somebody my age because they don't understand, because they will not give me what I want. I prefer to date someone who is married because they are more romantic, they will take care of you. So it's something that we have, as Africans, have rationalized. So we'll still be asking the question, so why do you now leave the house if it's something you would likely do if you're, cast aside or if you have left in the first place? So what I would say is, for you to hold yourself, they always say, have your own money. Before you decide to take a walk, have an exit plan. We've talked about it. Hold your own, so that even if you want to get companionship, you're not getting companionship from a place of desperation where you now have to
your own terms.
Somebody else's husband because you have to pay bills. You are choosing to get into a relationship with somebody because you can handle your own. That is just what you want, and that would help you not get another person's husband. You will now look at the younger people that will look at you. I don't know.
I think we've finished this topic, but let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll try to expand on various angles because we'd love to talk about family. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're discussing cheating, and sometimes it sounds like a broken record, but The reason why this is such an important topic is because we get comments continuously on our DMs about people having issues, asking us to talk about their matters. And it's so important for us to address this because it's never ending. Many homes are in trouble because people just don't know what to do. And that's why we bring some of these conversations to the fore so that people can get solutions from various perspectives. I mean, somebody was saying that what happens to till death do us part? The idea is to stick with your spouse no matter what. Many of our fathers and mothers been through various cheating experiences, various betrayal, yet they stood by their husbands or by their wives. Somebody had sent a message saying that wives, support and stand with your husband no matter what it takes, whether he's wrong or right, whether he's drunk or sober. He is your head. Biblically, I'm not sure whether it's in the Bible. Well, he is the head of the family. Don't run away.
Did you stop there?
Yeah.
How about the wife part?
Yeah, I'm sure
where does she
flip it over?
Okay, will he send the part? Because that's where this...
So that's the conversation. So if we say stay, no matter what. Now, this is minus domestic violence. Let's put domestic violence on its own. But if he's wrong or right, that's what we preach. People are having marriage counseling every single day. Young people are getting into this new institution and they feel that I must stay. So it's about how do you know when to leave? Should you even stay at all? How do you endure? Because in Africa, we seem to always have to endure this thing called marriage.
We love endurance.
So we love to endure. So should we be preaching against endurance? Is it immoral to do so? That's the conversation.
I don't know if it's that we love endurance. I think it's because society will be more sympathetic and empathetic if you're an enduring wife. An enduring wife, not necessarily an enduring husband. And that's till death do us part. Through thick and thin, whether he's a drunk or whatever you said, is usually referred to the man. But it is acceptable, and it's acceptable to quickly get rid of a wife who falters, who fails, who makes a mistake. But this conversation is just, it's just brought this to mind, which is the topic of cheating itself. I think that first scenario that we painted, the question is really about the types of cheating. First of all, I'd like to state that there are two situations. Being cheated on and cheating are two different scenarios. Being cheated on comes with being a married person and being cheated on. It comes with the benefits of being in the house as a married person. But it also comes with the anxiety and the frustration and the betrayal of being cheated on. Being the side chick outside is also a whole different scenario. So sometimes you would see it like, oh, if cheating is the one that caused you to leave your home, how come you're now cheating somewhere? It's because it's really two different things. They come with their good sides and their bad sides. So you would not enjoy being cheated on because of the frustration it gives you, but you may enjoy cheating on someone because of the benefits it gives you. And also that means that they're different. Do you want to take the call or should I just finish?
Finish up.
Okay. So that means there are different types of cheating. I don't know if we've ever discussed different types of cheating, and people would say, and that's why some men will say to you, well, I love you, I don't love that person, I'm only just doing it for fun. So there's cheating for companionship, there's cheating for financial gain. So when you say someone has left a marriage and she needs financial help, that's cheating. For some people, it's true, but there are some people that can financially take care of themselves, and they're just looking for companionship. And it just so happens that the person that they're looking for companionship with is already in a marriage. So she didn't leave that marriage and unable to take care of herself. She's still looking for a companion. And it does not matter how this is married or not. Because in that sense, it's not about the cheating anymore, but the benefit that comes from being the side chick. There's the cheating in marriages where some people have divided. They say there's the discreet cheating and the non-discreet cheating.
All right, let me take Nakasu to hold it for a while. Good morning,
I'm breaking it
cheating lectures this morning.
Sorry for keeping you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Morayo, how are you?
Very well.
Okay. I think you have all done very well on this topic, the people who spoke so far, But like one of you said, there's what you may see as perpetual cheating. A habit. Somebody's into it not just out of temptation. On both sides, man and woman. Although you are addressing that of women who are cheated upon by their husband. But you can go either way. You can have women also who cheat on their husband. What may be wrong should be the issue of somebody perpetually into cheating. We are social human beings. No doubt, the woman in the house will definitely feel pain if it becomes the order of the day in the house, not having your husband to yourself anymore. It could kill for some. Somebody said you just turn your eyes away. If it is something perpetually your husband is into, you cannot. In fact, I don't say you may not. It will be very difficult to turn your eyes away. No matter what else satisfaction you get financially from your husband taking care of the home.
Thank you very much, Nakato.
Can I just finish?
Yeah.
Okay, so all I was just trying to say that there's some of these cheating that women in marriages are able to take their eyes off and forgive. So if you're not a serial cheater, if you're being discreet and you're also paying attention to what you need to pay attention to. And that's why you would hear much older women and mothers who say, don't go looking for what you don't want to find, because is he doing what he's meant to do? Are you happy? Is he taking care of you? They say he's cheating outside. Have you seen it with your eyes? So don't look too far into what may be happening when you're not there. Just concentrate on your world and what is happening there. So you find some people are able to do that, but there's some cheating that it's in your face. Women will say they bring them to their house. I was upstairs lying down and I heard my husband with his side chick downstairs. I mean, what do you tell that sort of person? And then that person now leaves to be a side chick to someone else. In fact, she will even feel happy that she's doing it to somebody else, so you know how it feels.
Let me take Dr. Ayo. Good morning, Dr. Ayo. You're live.
Good morning. How are you?
Thanks
it's a
for
nice
coming.
topic. I'm happy for the opportunity to speak with you. The topic you're talking about cheating is what I want to say one or two things about.
I can't hear him. Okay. Go ahead. Hello?
He's still there.
Okay, so I wanted to come to you.
Yeah, I like the way you have given us our cheating lecture this morning, broke it down for us. But I need us to understand that the concept is the concept. So it may come in different angles and in different styles. Like we have domestic abuse, and then you have physical, you have emotional, you have psychological, you have financial. They all come under one umbrella. So cheating comes under one umbrella. And the concept of cheating is taking something that does not belong to you behind your partner's back. That's the concept of cheating, and that is wrong. We're not encouraging it in any way. However, you highlighted something that, our parents lived with it. It was the norm. It was a way of life. It was cultural, as a matter of fact. In fact, in some of my cultures, you can even bring somebody for your partner. It was something that we found a way to live with. But times have changed. Women are now saying, let us have don't do it behind me. Let us have a conversation. It's okay for my mother to have said, as long as my father is taking care of us, she will be fine. I'm not that kind of person. I want to be sure that I have you and you have me. And if anything has to happen, if it happens by mistake, the one that you suddenly fall.
That happens in Japan.
One off for him. Maybe you went on a trip, it was too cold that night, somebody just came to your room.
Very specific.
It happened in Japan.
It happens in Japan, It happens, it's a one-off. But the one that, and what hurts women the most is, we know you are a philanderer. You follow Joke, you follow Funke, you follow Morayo, you follow this one, you follow that one. But all of a sudden, Funke's name is now more consistent. Funke has now captured your attention. You have driven Ngozi, you have driven the other people. It's now Funke. Funke now suddenly becomes a mistress. That's where the problem is. So if you know that he does once in a while, there's a new name. After a while, another name. After a while, most women don't mind. But when that Funke, he's sleeping, he's waking up. In fact, he comes home and he's just telling you that, do you know, I heard something from, this person said something, and you're, who is this Funke now that my husband is always calling? That's where the problem is. So he has now picked interest in one particular person who he's grooming, has become a mistress, and that person can take your shine. Yeah. So the thing young stars and young people are getting into marriage is saying now, is we cannot deal with this. If you are going to have an open marriage, let us because I don't want to be the only one that is in a monogamous relationship and you are doing polygamy and I'm not aware.
Polygamy.
Let me know that we are in this together. So if it's not going to work from the beginning, and then when I catch you, or if you have to do it, for some people, they will tell you, if you have to do it, please take it away from me. You must give me that respect. Don't bring them to the house. I don't want them calling you at so time. No, people are not having that conversation because what we have done as a society is to excuse the bad behavior of men for so many centuries. So we give them excuses. We back them up. That's how they are. Once a man is a man. They are wired like that. They love to conquer. So you cannot stifle a man. A man cannot be content with one woman. No, it's not done. This is the culture. To show that he's a man, he should be able to conquer this and conquer that. We have given them all of those excuses.
A conqueror is here.
A conqueror is here, my sister.
Okay, so
please.
Some people argue that women are natural nurturers. You know, we love to love and care for our children. We just love to be there for people. So we don't like wahala. According to so a lot of women, most women except you, you know, we just like to be left alone. So sometimes when our mothers seem to have accepted these lifestyles, because listen, I want my peace of mind. There's something called peace of mind. I want to be 70-year-old. I'm not worried about all this. I want to just have me, my children, and I know I'm happy. Now, my question is, young marriages today, why do they find it difficult to accept, to just, you know what, me and myself, I don't have to worry about him. As long as he's doing, just like you said, what he also ought to do, let me just be comfortable. A lot of young people don't want, once you even look at somebody like this, they have broken the marriage. I'm done. You looked at her. No. That's what, you know. So they have such a short fuse to these kind of things. They get upset easily. They're not ready to stall and wait and hope and try to wait out this whole marriage. They are not willing to take that time out. Yes. So the question is, where are we getting it wrong? Is it that, I don't want us to say it's okay to cheat or manage your husband is cheating, but how do we help, especially young people who are getting into this thing and saying they can't even deal?
So let me just say this before Mariam comes in. This generation, the type of people that if they want to do something, they are either in or out. Yeah. There is no in-between. Our parents' generation could have in-betweens, and that's because they had worked their mind, they have divorced from the man emotionally, they are just there. So I'm focusing on my business, I'm focusing on my children, but I'm not in this, I've separated my emotions from this man. I've killed that love that I have for him. I see him as just either a neighbor or a friend. We are okay, we can cohabit together, but I'm focusing on this. Young people don't want to be in that space where they are constantly choosing, should I divorce from this person emotionally and just face my kids? If they want to have you, they want to have you in totality. Somebody said something recently, said most of the women who it would be okay for their husbands to cheat is because they either are not in love with the husband or they are cheating as well, or they want an avenue to be able to live because there are people who are married, but they live as singles. They want that freedom. They want that avenue. So if you are going to cheat your thing. Let me face my children and face my work and face my... But if you have that person who is committed to making this work, the person will feel the pinch of every cheating that you bring and will fight you for it and want you to change and will keep talking about it. So do we not look at and say, anybody who just says, we don't care about what you're doing is because I want to have my own life? Or can you also not just want to have your own life, love him, care for him, and allow him to do that? It's a very difficult place to be in.
Okay, I'm going to go on a break because, as I said, I would like to hear from people who have been through this, where they waited or they left. It would be nice to see what they're going through and how they're living. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're discussing cheating so far, and we're looking at different angles. And, you know, we're just talking about how do you manage a relationship when a spouse cheats. Now, many people have always accused us that anytime we talk about cheating, you're always focusing on the men cheating. But we found a lot of women, Nigerian women especially, are cheating.
Ew.
Trust me, we have seen plenty of them in our DMs. Give us all the reasons in the world why it was important for them to leave their spouses, because the man was either, most all these politicians, some of their wives have left, they're busy traveling to Abuja, going to London. Mommy is being sorted out by either somebody or somebody, you know. So we get these messages, and it's quite interesting that a lot of women are actually cheating. Now, talking about cheating, as a woman, if you cheat, many women don't like to cheat, but it just so happens that you cheat. Should you confess that you cheat? Because about your mistake, you know, maybe the man was just trying to be nice to you for something or the other. I mean, it's just crazy. This Abuja that I went to, I was really, really disgusted about how a lot of guys will say, are you married? I said, I got 4 kids, honey, leave me alone. You know, all they say, you don't look like I'm married. I'm like, yeah, right. You know, like, what kind of foolish pickup line is that? At what age? Look at me head to the tail. You don't look like I'm married. Like, please, I'm not a child. You know, and they are men. They look very responsible. They'll just come and greet you. Hello, how are you? Where do you work? They'll not show you your card. One big company. I said, I'm freaking 43 years old. I'm not going to be tripping because of your company. Are you okay? Well,
you have yours.
So they are just, you know, so we see all these things, but some people just, maybe their husband haven't really laughed with them in a long time, or they haven't had a connection. And then you go for maybe a training, and some guy just comes to you and just starts chatting you up, and you enjoy the company, exchange cards. Once in a while, he says hello, you meet up, you run, you know. Once in a while, 1 year, your friends, 2nd year, something happens to your husband, he's there to comfort you. Bada bing, bada bang, something's happened. And then you're in a relationship. Now, you as a woman, I'm painting a scenario, please follow me. You as a woman, you enjoy it, but you know it is wrong. So because you have a family, you stop it. So maybe you did it for like a year. You stop it. And you're done, dusted. Delete the guy's number, don't come again, we're done. And you move on to your family. And you guys are going on. Should you confess to your husband, maybe a year after you've broken up, or 2 years after that? Did you know that?
Why? His life... Wait, was it I'm hearing you. Was it a situation where it says if you don't confess right now, the man is about to die?
As a woman, you just feel that you just feel guilty.
So I'm just giving you a scenario where it has to be that the man his life is going, my life is going, confess. Because I just don't think it makes any sense to confess. You have moved on. You have, you know, done and dusted, and you're now concentrating on your family. So if you had said, in the course of this relationship, something is something is missing in the marriage, that your husband has sat you down and said, what is happening? It's different from when it is done and dusted, and you have recalibrated yourself, you are back to proper setting, realizing you have done something wrong, and you're putting in your hardest, making sure that you're facing your marriage. I would not advise that you open up. That's my personal opinion.
But as guilty as a wife, you might feel guilty, like, you know, because they tell you, open conversations, talk to your husband, you know, pour out your heart, empty yourself, and you're in church, and God is speaking to you, and
if
the
you're
Holy
Catholic,
Spirit
please talk to the priest.
To you. And the Holy Spirit now ministers to you that if you don't confess your sin, you know, that next promotion.
So who?
It's not just to you, to God, though. You confess to God, you confess to man. That man that you have cheated on, because that's what they tell you in church now.
Do men confess to women? So most times men don't confess anything. Is in our searching, you know, a woman would find out what the man is doing. He would have done and dusted and moved on and recalibrated his mind and decided to. So I think in situations like this, but you know, there are some very mature couples. They are able to sit and talk about everything. So you need to know the sort of relationship that you have. I know there are some couples that discuss everything. They discuss from the moment it starts, the attraction, the fact that when I'm in the presence of this person, I feel a certain way. And if they did not get to do, they will tell you almost everything. And that is how they work it out. In fact, these couples find it much more, what upsets them the most is that they found out something you didn't share with them. So if that is your situation, then you know, so you know, with relationships, different strokes for different folks. If that is your relationship, then do that. There are some men that will even tell you from the get-go, don't tell me, I don't want to know. And you already know that this person, as long as you have moved on from it, we're moving ahead. It's not that I caught you. I don't even want to ever hear about your past. In fact, those people will say, I don't even want to hear about your ex-relationships. I don't want to hear about the people you were with before you met me. that is the sort of person you're married, and then you decide, I would like to unburden myself before you. Then you will bear the consequences. Because I've had conversations like this actually, where someone says, you are unburdening yourself, not because you feel sorry about what you did, but because you're unable to live with your guilt. So it's really still about you.
Yes.
You're being selfish to this relationship that you know cannot handle the fact that I am hearing you say you were in a relationship. So you need to know who it is that your partner you're dealing with. And it works for both men and women.
Why are you confessing?
So that's what I'm saying.
the
As a woman, so
intention?
let's look at there are different kinds of women. There's a women that can, you know what, they don't care and move on. But there's some women that feel like, I feel like I hurt this man. Every single day I look at his face.
I feel
like I feel guilty. And I want to be free from this guilt. So I want to open up my heart and tell him the truth, hoping that he'll forgive me and then we move forward.
Beautiful. You want to be free from the guilt. Have you asked how he will be after he receives the burden you are placing on him? So sometimes we're just very selfish, like she just rightly mentioned. You now want to relieve yourself of the burden of that guilt, because guilt is very heavy. You relieve yourself and you hand it over to somebody who will not carry it and be moving and falling under the guilt. So you have to ask yourself, what is the intention behind my confession? And if you're really that person who has a conscience, you will not go for 1 year. I don't understand. 1 year, 1 full year, you go out, you collect, you come back, you look at him in the face, you say, I love you. Tomorrow you go out, you collect again, you come back, you look at for 1 whole year, and you say you have conscience?
No,
you don't have conscience. Let me tell you.
Your husband is a politician.
Listen, let me
paint the story well. You are looking at a nice man who is home and taking care of family. No, he's not that kind of person.
A man who is not there.
This man is hardly around. He's with Governor XYZ or meeting. They're traveling to London, they're in Japan, everything. And you are Mrs. Elijah, whatever, in the house, doing everything. And you now do something with somebody.
But he comes back now.
Once in a while, maybe once every 3 weeks.
Okay, let me paint this scenario for you as well. The Jakpa families, someone is abroad and someone is at home here in Nigeria. You're hardly ever there. And the man, let's say the man is in Nigeria, but also really busy. Time difference and everything. So even communication is a bit wonky. And then this happens. It's able to happen because this person is not constantly in your face. So it's happened for a protracted. So what do you...
We have seen even when the person is in your face, it happened for 2 years, 3 years. We have seen that. So this scenario that you just painted now, but you make calls. Even if you speak to him once in a month, you had a relationship for 1 year, 2 years, but we talk on phone every month.
Every day.
We ask each other questions. How are the kids doing? How is it? You could not mention to me that you have been knacking somebody else.
How is that possible?
You do not have a conscience. Listen, let me tell you how it works for women who really have a conscience. The first time it happens, they will not sleep. They will not have peace. They would, if they have not spoken to their husband, they will either find a sister to confide in, or they are doing the confession. Even the man will notice that something is wrong with you. And from conversation, it comes out. That's a woman that has a conscience. That's a woman who made a mistake. You don't make a mistake for 1 year, 2 years. You don't make that kind of, that's not a mistake. You had enjoyed yourself. You were now probably either tired of it, or it's no longer, you have lost the novelty of that feeling, and you now want to go back and reboot. You now go and confess to somebody.
No. You're not getting
I got it.
Hold on, I'll come back to you. Let me take Otumba. Otumba Olukaye, thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, I think you guys are having a very nice conversation there. I'm enjoying it in my office. Just like one of your person there has just said, you need to...
Don't listen to the TV. Please come talk to me.
Kind of partner before you release any form of information.
I have to disconnect the call. He's listening to the TV and it's delayed here. I was going to say something. You see, you're looking at a woman who went out because maybe she cheated on her husband. This woman I'm talking about is not a woman who cheats. She loves her husband. For whatever reason, the man wasn't available for different reasons. He could be living abroad or something, and she loves him. And she has needs. You know how we say, I have needs. Those needs are not being met for a while. And then she goes for a training where she meets a guy. And that's happened. And because there's supposed to be a fling. Then fling now became something that suddenly she lights up and she's like, oh my goodness, those feelings still exist. And gradually she does it, but after a while, because of her guilt, she stops it. because she really loves her husband and her children.
Yes,
I'm not saying that
Morayo.
should that woman, the women, and the reason she's confessing is because she just feels like, I want to be left. I want to be open and with this, but I don't want to lie to him anymore. The question is, should a woman who cheated confess? And you said she should move on. You are saying, should she cheat? Should she confess or should she not confess?
So first of all, I'm actually dodging this.
Should she confess or not confess?
Wait now. You need to understand who you are confessing to. I've seen relationships scatter based on dream. The man dreamt that the woman was with another man and woke up the next day and said, come and pack your mood. I saw you in the dream and you have started cheating on me. There was nothing that solved that relationship. It just scattered. So that kind of man, what are you confessing? Except you're ready to pack your things and go. There are men that are understanding. They would have a conversation. You may have told them your past. You were this, that, and it didn't matter to them. They just say, whatever it is, we can work it through. If you have that kind of man, if you have liver, confess. But before you confess, ask yourself, if this man chooses not to forgive me, am I ready to leave this?
Yes.
Yeah,
You must have that conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Am I ready to really, because confession comes with consequences. It's like when you do, there's this thing they do as sinners, when you want to pay, is it penance? There's another word, I remember
Contrition?
it. Yes, something like that you do, that you must follow the consequences. So you ask yourself, am I ready for this relationship to crumble? Penance. If I confess to this and he says, let's work it out, am I ready to work and gain my trust?
Okay, let's...
Because it's a lot of work to gain that trust back, especially with a man. Some people will say, we're not doing. Others will say, okay, but now you have to be telling me anywhere you're going to. I have to be checking your phone. I have to do this. Some life adjustments will happen. Are you ready?
For that. Let me take Roman. Good morning, Roman. Are you there? You're live.
Yes, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so the discussion you're going on with is actually a very profitable one for the populace. It's good.
I need volume, please.
I like the topic. Yes, well done about that.
Thank you.
The person in the studio who just spoke, I don't know her name. She seemed to be more extreme with her views, because I believe this discussion has an intention. So what is the intention? Is it for people to just keep on hiding their guilt, keep on hiding what they've done wrong in the past? Because if we're ready to bring up a discussion that would help people come out, we should also help them find peace for coming out, even if their intention is wrong. As a coach, as a life coach, we should be able to help them have the right intention so that the reason and ecological outcome from the whole confession and discussion should come out. But I seem to have been so extreme to the point where I feel people will run away instead of even coming, whether they have right decision or not. Because we should be able to accommodate everybody, regardless of their view, regardless of their intention, so that we will help them have a better society. Because I can't live with the guilt, of course, with my partner if anything happens. I should be able to come and tell them. Now, if a discussion like this is going on, and I'm finding this platform as a reason to say, let me go and confess, and I'm having myself being open to the tendencies of the counselor or the life coach counting on me, it makes me hide.
Thank you, Roman. I get the point. So that's why we have different perspectives. Mariam had a different view.
Yeah.
Bisi had a different view. So that's what that's what we need. A conversation where you see different perspectives and you choose the one that most appeals to you and you learn from others. So some people might actually prefer Bisi's views. Others could be, be more aligned to be to be Mariam's views. Anyways, going back to this conversation, because you see, as I said, these conversations are often based on conversations we get from different people or comments we get from different people, and they want to also address it. So you're going to say something.
You know, I think BC took us to the point where what you need to do after a confession has been done. And for me, I don't think it's necessarily after a confession. So it's, for me, you start to address what you've done. It does not necessarily have to be after a confession. It comes when you have acknowledged that what you've done is wrong. So even if I do not come to you and confess with my mouth what I've done, I am checking myself. I'm making sure I'm home on time. I'm making sure I've deleted all the numbers, you know. So that happens even if I do not speak to you about it. And it shows that, so the work that I need to do for my marriage to revive my marriage, I don't have to do it after only you are telling me to do it. Do you understand? It shows that I'm ready to work on my marriage. It's not because I've now confessed to him and he has said, okay, do this and do that. It's good, it happens, but if I can do it myself, that shows sincerity, that I'm ready I'm willing to work on my marriage. See, some relationships.
Okay, there's a call. Holding for a minute. Good morning, Yakub. You're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I totally agree with Obi this morning because, Morayo, see, if a woman wants to confess, you need to ask herself a question that, what if I did this? At the end of the day, as Obi said earlier, the man has said, okay, you have done all this. I don't think I can bear it. So where is she going to start from? That's the question. Because it is very, very difficult, especially for women. A woman can just let it go. In fact, I can tell you, even some women knew that their man did all this kind of the thing. But they always pretend as if they don't know. Why? Why? Because they want to save their marriage. But a man, Morayo, I'm telling you from the experience, I personally cannot condone that. You dare not confess. I don't want to know. You get it? Because I knew myself that I cannot bear such. I can't bear it. So don't confess.
Yakub, let me ask you a question.
You dare not.
Have you ever cheated on your wife? Yakub, have you ever cheated on your wife?
When I've never done that, I've never done that because my wife, I'm a Muslim, my wife knew that I can get another wife.
So you have two wives. I know you have two wives, right?
Yes, I can marry. Yes, in fact, I can plan to do that any moment from now. She knows. You get it.
Wait, Yakub, calm down. I know you have two wives. Are you trying to get a third wife?
I can do that. If I have capacity to have, sorry, I need to correct this thing. I didn't have two wives for now. I have one.
Oh, okay.
You get it. But presently, I'm planning to do another one.
Okay.
You get it. Yes.
Now, my question, Yakub, therefore, calm down, Yakub. We're having a conversation. Calm down. Now, you have a first wife. You're hoping to have a second wife. My question is, to get the second wife, did you cheat on the first wife? Or just like we're arranging number two to just come?
No, what really happened is this. See, as a Muslim,
I know.
Hold on, Morayo, hold on. As a Muslim, since I had this in my mind that I have it in plan, I needed to tell her that, come, this is what I want to do. The only thing is this. She needed to know the kind of person that person is.
Okay.
You get it? And then I made her know the person. You get it? This is the person. Are you getting it? But she was like telling me that I thought this one is not going to come and destroy the home. I said, leave that for me. I know how to handle that. Okay. You get it? Right. So basically what I'm trying to say is that as a woman, you don't need to. If you dare confess first to me, you are gone. That is the truth. You are gone because I cannot bear such. I know the kind of person I am. I can bear it. So just keep it to yourself. Ask for forgiveness from God Almighty Allah. He is the one to forgive you. So that's it.
I like that.
Thank you, Yakub.
I like it because you know who you're dealing with. Yeah. And then you know that because there are some people who also confess because they hope it makes you jealous. They hope they would elicit some sort of feelings from you. You know, especially that scenario that you painted, which is this person is even in a marriage where she's not getting what she wants from the husband. And she's hoping, do you see how far I went? Because you are not there. So maybe if I tell you, it will make you sit up. Yeah. For some people, it will work, it will sit up. But God help you if you say, Yakub. That's the end of the story.
I'd like to ask you ladies a question.
She's about to
question, but you don't have to respond.
Yeah, your own.
I'll just say, if you don't want to respond, it's okay.
I wish you don't ask it.
Don't ask it,
Just
right?
move on.
Let's move on. I wanted to find out if your spouse is aware of your past.
Oh, well, to some degree, because I think for us is because we're friends first. So we're gisting. I'm aware of his past, of some, to a certain degree. In fact, recently I was like, Miriam, you don't gist me anymore. I'm like, what gist? I have no gist. My gist started with you, and that's it. So, and in fact, sometimes he would call some names from my past to tease me about it, and we laugh about it the same that I do for him. So there are some things that you can talk about. Of course, it's not every single detail. some things are not necessary. Honestly, if you really think about it, it makes
some
no
details
sense.
in your past are not necessary.
Yes, they're not necessary, yes. And even in his past, there are some things I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I mean, what would be the aim? What am I supposed to do? To go to bed and think about it and ruminate, you know? So I just feel that there are some things that can be shared and some things you just don't need to.
We started dating when we were basically teenagers.
Yeah, so
so
you have no past.
Who told you I had no past? I don't
Before
go
the
there.
teenage years?
Yes, now.
Or during the
During
dating?
the teenage years, you know, so I had, and I just said, we were friends we dated for 6 years. So we're friends for a long time and all that. And he will even be teasing me because I threatened him. I told him, if you travel out and you don't marry me, I won't wait around. So today he will tell me that, there was no guy toasting you at the time. So I shared what I thought was necessary to share. It doesn't mean I have to share everything. I don't subscribe to sharing everything. Just sometimes it's okay to also protect yourself as a person.
Interesting. Let me take this call from Grace. Good morning, Grace. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Thanks for calling. You're live.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Like, you don't know what I'm going through right now. This is a man I'm married for how many years, trusting him, believing him, go extra mile for him. But these days, I discovered that this man is cheating on me, collecting my food, giving to those people that is in the name of I want to help them. Even the worst part of it is there is a lady from Lagos that is a married woman. She'll come to Abuja and deceive her family there, and he's telling me he's his friend. A lot is good, and when I discover over 1 month now, it's like, I don't know what to do. I want to tear him up. You know, like where I come from, when you begin to approach a man and you say, okay, where is the evidence? Where is this? At the end of the day, the same people decide to know that, okay, if you want to go, and they'll bring another woman in. Because of this, my children.
Thank you very much, Grace. See, I like Grace sharing that with us because that's part
real.
of the story. That's one of the reasons why we have these conversations, because she's in that situation now. Now, the question is, do you leave or do you stay? Now, if she stays, how does she get peace of mind? How can she remove herself from what this man is doing? And how are we excusing the man from doing it? How do we call him to order where you stay with this family? You know, these are the dynamics of a Nigerian home, many Nigerian homes where women are having to deal with these kind of issues. So somebody will say, who tells you when a man goes out is cheating? It's not Oyinbo man that told you he's cheating. A man is polygamous. They're allowed to. So yeah, you know, it's not Oyinbo man that gave you the word cheating. Is there any word like cheating in Yoruba? Yes, there's Nyali, right? But
in the Bible, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yeah, well, okay, scrap that.
Okay,
Scrap that. The point I'm trying to make is that people will tell you that in our culture, there's nothing like cheating because men can be polygamous, and society accepts that. So when you tell yourself, he's cheating on me, you are the one putting that burden on yourself. You are the Grace now is going on, she's going through that stress. But the man is moving on. So the question is, what does a Grace do?
Okay, so it's from different angles. If Grace was a Muslim, she would rationalize it and say he's polygamous and allowed to, you know, have others apart from me. And she'll be able to rationalize it. She will have support groups that will help her through what she's going through. But being Nigerian and if also a Christian, where she may get empathy and support is from people that will say, that's how they all are. Just concentrate on yourself and your work and your children. And, you know, when he's tired, he'll come home. You are the main one. So they give you those words. You are the main one at home. But in doing that, we acknowledge other things, but refuse to acknowledge the emotional distress that this person is under. Yeah. Knowing that when my husband walks out of my house, he's going into the arms of another woman. Knowing that the money that we've put aside, that usually would have gone this far, has to be reduced because he has to pay some bills somewhere else. And this is not someone who has worked, you know, with us, who has helped to build our family. This is someone who has sole reason just to take from our family. So that person is so aggrieved. The way the older people will tell you is pray about it, one, focus on yourself, tune it out, focus on yourself, your business, your career, and for that period, well, that's if you've decided I want to work through it, because there are different ways to do this. You're saying you know what, this is my husband. I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to work at my marriage. And it means there is no divorce. There's no stepping out of this marriage. I'm not going to cheat back because he's cheating. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be strong. And I'll prove to him why our marriage needs to work. So you will do a lot of work. You'll be hurting while you're doing it, but you have to do the work. Then there are some people who say, you know what, this is just too much of a problem for me. I cannot deal. I will step up. But you have to be sure that you're willing and ready for whatever decision that you take.
Let me take Amin from Port Harcourt. Good morning, Amin. You're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, first of all, this is a very good topic.
Thank you.
And before you do this or that, you must be able to know the type of man whom you are dealing with.
Right.
Because this may cause a problem in your home. Let me tell you, men are more jealous in terms of marriage than women. And women, most of the time, they may only cry, wipe their tears, and let go. But for men who are really jealous, they dare not take that shit from you.
Uncle.
They dare not take that shit.
TV.
So they can only cry.
He's used to rock the word.
I say that.
Let's go on a break.
Uncle is warning every female.
Don't try it.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we're still discussing a different layer of this cheating conversation. And the part where we are now is, should a woman confess if she finds herself cheating? And we had several calls. Some said, don't try that. Some are saying that, don't confess to me. I'd like to hear a man tell me it's okay that you like your woman to be open. I asked the ladies if their spouses are aware of their past. In my own case, my spouse has no clue about my past. In fact, he never wanted to know. He said, Morayo, I don't want to know anything about your past. I wanted to give him all the gist. I wanted to, because I just felt like I had a lot of stories to tell, because I had experiences. I mean, I had a lot of fun dates and so many things. He doesn't even want to know a clue. He doesn't want to know. And I still feel like, I don't know, why would I be in a marriage where my husband doesn't know anything about my past? I would really like for him to know. But, recently, I think a few days ago, my husband ran into one of my friends in the, will be someone ex-ish, and he just took a picture of him. Okay, who is this guy? Said, do you know Morayo? And, he's not one of your fans. I said, no, bro, he's not
That's
my
not
fan.
That's no fan.
That was an ex. Like, oh, really? He was just talking about you like a fan. Like, I know this guy. I knew his name. But he's just one of those friends. I mean, nothing happened, but it's just that he's somebody that was there. So while we're having this conversation, I was not remembering that I would have liked for, because he's somebody that I would have liked for my husband to even have a clue that, okay, you met this guy, this is the kind of the person that used Morayo used to just to give you some respect. That Morayo used to
the sort of people that confess
give you correct guy now. Don't think that only you find, I guess. I don't get your kind for past. Don't act as if now only you.
That's why we say some people confess for selfish reasons.
Yes. But
okay, because why the selfishness
you want to show off to
that
okay, I got some.
Let's open this conversation a bit. I've had issues of people bringing up confession stories, this family extended that things will happen, and then you have to be ready for very deep conversations that probably you may not have been having with your spouse. Yeah. They will now ask you questions like, what was it that attracted you to this? What did he have that I did not have?
It opens new wounds.
Wait till you not be, because you don't want to, you're already confessing, you don't want to offend.
You don't want to lie on top.
You don't want to lie on top. You have to be honest. Then that's okay. What were you people doing? How did you do it?
How did you meet
Did you do it better than I did? Hey. What was the attraction? Did he give you this? How did he make you feel, Are you ready to have that conversation? Because the truth of the matter is, we are not all perfect, right? In our relationships, we find a way to, patch ourselves, compliment ourselves, handle ourselves, you know that this person is just a 70%. You may have just
Let
probably...
me pause you for a second. I don't want to lose this call. Joke's been holding. Good morning, Joke.
Good morning, ladies.
You're live.
How are you?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. This is a personal experience.
Share with us.
Early in my marriage, so one of my husband's friends, very close friends, approached me. So when I got home, I told my husband that, see this man that you said is your close friend, is your brother. See what he said. You know what happened? There was a time we were quarreling. He used this to abuse me. Yes. That is it what after I have accepted for him, telling him nonsense. So I don't think it's men are very jealous. They are more jealous than women.
Yeah. Use it.
So, thank you so much, Joke. That's a very good story. A lot of men. So all he did was just talk to the wife. And nothing happened.
She didn't even accept.
But while they are fighting, like, you know, after you've already done the thing, you're not coming to tell me that he approached you. So in their mind, just from a conversation, you've already done the deed. Imagine how you actually done the
from dream.
So I like where you're going, where it's hard conversation of where you're unpacking the relationship.
So because we have, you realize that nobody's perfect, you're 70, maybe I'm even 40, and we have been managing ourselves, then you do something like this and you bring it, and then the person is now asking, maybe the person is even the 40, for instance, and he's not asking you questions of, okay, so what was I not doing well? Why did you get to a point where you had to be confident enough or to go with this person with everything? And because you don't want to lie, you will not start opening things that you had started managing before it was not a problem for you in your marriage. You will not start opening things, you don't do this, you don't do that, or you were not doing this, you were not doing that, you were not doing this. And this man, all his life, because women lie a lot to men, from the time he was a teen to an adult, nobody had ever told him he had that flaw, or nobody had ever told me he had that disadvantage, or I don't want to call the name, or whatever it is that he has not working for him. And after a few years of marriage, he now took the cheating wife to come and expose that. It damages the ego of that man.
Forever.
For some people, they can never come out of it. So you must weigh your confessions very well. The advice is, do not even do it in the first place. Do whatever you can to protect yourself in the first place.
But when it happens,
and you fall, sister, seek advice from the Lord.
So would we now tell men that if you cheat, also keep it secret, don't tell anybody? Let's take this call. Good morning, Jide.
Did they tell you?
Good morning.
You're live.
Morning,
Thanks for calling.
How are you?
Very good.
I love your discussion.
Thank you, sir.
Very, very interesting. So, what your Bible is saying is very, very good because, not everybody, as a man, will like that conversion to know what was happening to you before. Because we are jealous. We are jealous. If you do that to me, I will not accept it all. I won't accept it.
Okay.
It is better you go. You better keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Because no man wants to hear what you did with other man.
Quite interesting. Thank you, Jide. I like that a lot of men are calling and say they don't want to hear it. That's good feedback for a lot of women who feel to that point. But if we flip it over, when a man cheats on you and he keeps a secret, we don't like that he keeps a secret because, we always snoop around somehow. We don't like that he keeps a secret. We want to know. We want him to confess and tell us what happened. I heard that you're cheating on me. Tell me. But some women
really want that when you are asking
I don't know if women, I think, I mentioned earlier that some women are able to look away if the cheating is discreet. If it's done in such a way that you don't know anything about it. And yes, there's some people who would snoop because, okay, maybe they've noticed a difference in a behavior or a pattern of the husband and they're snooping to find out. It's not really to find out if he's cheating. They're hoping not to find out what they think that they're suspecting. I don't think any person wants to
really know.
That you're constantly being betrayed. You just want to be reassured that you're not being cheated. So that's how I see women go after it. It's not like they want you to tell them that, yes, I'm cheating on you. Because for me, I feel that when it happens at that point, we're now dealing with a whole different relationship. That marriage, even if it doesn't break up legally, emotionally, a lot of people would have moved on. You know, it would take a lot of work to do that. And many people are afraid that they may not have the energy for that sort of work.
The work is heavy.
Let me take this call from sorry, you done? Let me take Abimbola from London. You're live.
Good morning, Morayo.
Good morning.
I love your topic today, but
wow.
One thing. It is very hard for any man to take it in. How do I feel if my wife should come up to me and say, Abimbola, I cheated on you?
He called this name.
I wanted to know what I'm not doing good that
That's
she
the first
finds
question.
interesting in him.
Yeah.
It is better you keep it there. I don't want to know about it. Because men, they jealous more than what you think about. Imagine if my wife tells me that this is what happened behind me. In fact, I won't get that out of my brain. When touching her, I'll be thinking, is it the same way you touched her? Or I'm not getting it right. In fact, that may even end up destroying the relationship. So it's better she keeps it to herself forever.
It's interesting. Thank
Very
you very much.
interesting. As much as, you know, we like that the men are very emphatic on what they would like, I'm sorry, but just the hypocrisy of this thing is just getting at me. Because you're saying, I don't want to know, I don't need to hear. But we hear men say, when you cheat on, I'm not cheating, I don't love her. It's different. So why are you now asking, what is this person doing differently? What are you going to look for? Why is it that when a woman is not meant to have those questions, a woman is just meant to believe that, oh man, he's with that person just because. It has nothing to do with what you have or what you don't have or what is working in our marriage or what's not working in our marriage. It's just a thing I'm doing outside you. It's really about me. But here are men saying, if I were to hear you say you've cheated, I want to know, what is it that is missing in me that you're seeking it from someone else? So can a wife now ask, what is it in me that you're seeking somewhere else? And you will not give her that answer of, is because it's, you know, it's really not about what is happening at home.
The man
absolutely. Let me take
the conqueror, the lion, and the, what's that last one? That song now. The man is the hunter. Yeah. The man is the chaser. The man is the enyimba.
Let me take this
message.
My father cheated on my mother, abandoned us for 20 years. When he got sick, he came back. My mother nursed him till death. Now we have that. A lot of men, that's a whole nother topic. Where a man abandons his family, goes after somebody else. We don't know if it is jazz or whatever it is, because that's just the easiest excuse men use is, oh, they jazzed me. Anyway, he goes off. This one, 20 years, that's a long time. Then he falls sick at some point. Girlfriend abandons him. He comes back to first wife. First time is advised to open her arms, take him back. Now she be Baba when he's the father of your children. She's a nurturer. You know, at least he's back. Your wife, your daughter is about to get married now. At least you have her father to walk her down the aisle. All those various sentiments we put together. Now she nursed him till death. So they'll say, don't worry, he will come back. Come back at what age?
Come back
at
as a vegetable.
Come back at what stage? To what? At what stage?
You have used your youth to fire somebody else. You now come back.
You see, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. Yes, but let me respond to what she just said. Why are we not asking women, or why are women not allowed to ask the same questions?
Like, or giving the right answer.
Right,
they'll ask the questions, but the answer
yes. Yeah. So because the society has assigned the roles, the man sees himself as, he boosts his ego with the number of people he's able to conquer. And even if he marries you, he has conquered as a man. That's my territory. I have now me they do this one. Now me get this madam. See, as Morayo be now me they in charge of Morayo. When another man now takes possession of what you're supposed to be in charge of. If it's in the animal kingdom, now serious fight. Oh, you see the lions fighting.
But they've conquered your wife.
They've conquered your wife.
So I like it. I like how she said it. But in this new world of what do you bring to the table? 50-50. I am a la, You are the lion. We are both lions. So who is conquering what?
Okay, we'll answer that question. Let me take
it is the same. That's the new marriage that we have today.
Who told you that?
Okay.
That's a different
The
one.
Bible says the Kiniko is the same today and forever. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday.
No, Jesus Christ did not say marriage. Marriage always reflects the society at the time.
The Bible too has not changed. It's the same thing. So
that is the answer to your question about young people.
Our final caller. Good morning, Festus. Are you there?
I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm here.
So I cheated on my girlfriend that time.
Okay.
And I told her.
Okay.
He wasn't there, but I just told her.
Okay.
So she told her pastor what I did. So our pastor now asked her, were you there? How did you know? Then she told her pastor, what I told her, and now I told her. Then the man said, this man likes you. For you not to be there, and she told you what, he told you what he did at your back. The man loves you. Because so many men will hide it. So she came back to tell me. So the next time she was visiting, she brought condom for me. So don't bring disease, don't bring this, don't bring that. So don't. That's what I was feeling good that time. So, but now, we are settled.
Okay, are you married with her?
Did you marry her? Are you guys married?
Yes, yes.
He married the girl.
It's something. If you know one another, you don't keep secret. But the woman should not confess.
Okay, the woman should not confess.
Yes, because the way a man thinks is not the way woman thinks. We are not the same thing.
Okay.
Man and woman, we are not the same thing. Let me tell you this. We are not the same thing.
Okay.
Let me tell you, even if you read Bible very well, man was made directly from the dust.
Okay.
But for woman to be made, they took from man. So we are not the same thing.
Okay.
And it was the woman that ate that food. And so they are wiser.
Okay, Festus, let me be clear. Let me be sure I'm clear. So you cheated on her and you confessed. Yes. But you're saying if she cheats on you, you shouldn't confess. You wouldn't take it.
No.
She's not the conqueror.
Okay. All right. No. Thank you so much, Festus, for your comments. All right. So now, this in fact, we've gotten so many more topics. Another topic that just came from this, that the pastor says, for him to confess, he must really love you. Wow. And because of that, you went to go and buy condoms. That's an interesting angle.
My sister, I have the same thing that happened. An elderly woman gisting us her youth when they just got married. She noticed that the guy was philandering. Just bought packs of condom. When he's going, he put in his bag.
So the question,
my own question is, pastor,
is that for peace of mind? Or is that for I don't have the confidence to leave you?
For the fact that I know you are doing this is not a deal breaker for me, but don't bring any disease home. So people just find a way to... See, I just wish that...
No, for me, that part of the conversation is the pastor says it shows that he loves you. I would have thought the pastor would say the fact that he cheated on you means he doesn't love you because adultery is not allowed. I thought that is what I'll be getting from church. The pastor is a man. No, remember we're talking even about girlfriend, boyfriend. We're not even talking about married people who were going to say, okay, now work on your marriage. And then the person is already cheating on you before marriage. And the pastor says, he must love you.
Yes.
Is there not mixed messaging?
Yeah, no, so I think the pastor is first a man before pastor. So sometimes, honestly, we need to look at these things very well. Sometimes, when you come to them, you think you are hearing the Holy Spirit, you're actually hearing the man. And that's what played out. He spoke as a man, he did not speak.
But she went to her pastor so that he can speak to her as a pastor.
That's a different topic. You see,
stop confusing young people. Stop confusing them.
We have to wrap up.
One person that did not go back to the pastor will say, on the pulpit, my pastor said what you did is wrong. So he did not have
that was in the spirit when you met him.
Time is over.
It's fine.
Show,
it's okay.
But what's the moral? Yeah, basically, give us the moral.
The moral of the story is, first of all, you need to know your deal breakers, understand that these things can happen, and understand the man that you're going to be confessing to. If it's someone that can take it, if it's someone that cannot take it, deal differently. If you have your way, avoid doing it totally. That's what I was saying.
So when you want to say something?
Don't confess.
Don't confess. All right. So if you're a woman, you cheat.
Don't confess.
Listen, you make your choice. If you want to confess, know the kind of man you're confessing to. If you know so far all the men that called said they don't want to hear it. So it's like majority of men don't want to know. So just keep it and confess to your God and restitute to your God. That's all we can take on today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.